we're back and Elvis is here. So I'm just down on the ground because I thought probably the easiest way to go through all of this yarn that I have is to probably spread it out on the ground, and I'll go through each bag as I get to it. It's all still in the tea chest, so let's go. So a lot of this yarn is really dusty. I don't know what any composition of any of these yarns is. I don't know if they have any labels. So most of it is in cones, which is not unusual for machine knitting. Often the yarn, oh, this is dusty. This is me tapping that is just like launched a bunch of dust into the air in front of my face. Machine knitting yarn is waxed. I don't know if any of this is waxed. It all looks pretty. The point of the waxing is that it cuts down on the fuzz that is on the surface of the yarn that may get it tangled and fluffy in and have problems feeding through the knitting machine. Well, that's what I understand anyway. This one does not have any kind of label on it. It's very fine, but because my knitting machines are standard gauge, you want to work with lace yarn to fingering weight at the high end, and so a lot of this looks to be about lace weight. That's not fingering weight, that's probably closer to lace weight, and it is not fuzzy at all, so I'd say that's probably been waxed. It's actually machine knitting wool or yarn. I'm gonna have to do burn tests or something on these to try and figure out what kind of fiber is actually in them. Alright, so we've got a big cone of red. This one, oh, this is interesting. It's very shiny. Can't see it, but it doesn't say very much on there. It doesn't, yeah, I think it's basically 20 over 2, which I guess is their 20 width fibers, 2 of them twisted together. It's like you see stuff like that in weaving. Often weaving thread is in sort of numbers that are something over 2 or something over 4, 8 over 2, 8 over 4. They basically means that the individual threads are 8 weight and there's 4 of them or 2 of them twisted together. So this is 20 over 2, so these are very fine. Another guy that's just out in the open. You probably can't really tell, but this is a dark sort of navy blue looking fiber. So this is polyamide and acetate, Drapeau I believe, and it's made in France. Again, no composition on what these are. This is a blue. It's very shiny kind of aqua blue. It's really hot pink, so that is going to be quite shocking in something. What do we got here? This one is 100% acrylic. This one actually says what it is. It is the colorway chocolate, and it's a little bit grubby. The lady I bought this off said that she had put wormwood in to protect the fabrics. I'm assuming as a deterrent for insects, but it is kind of on a lot of the yarn, and they are very dusty as well, so I don't know how useful dusty yarn really is going to be, but again, I can give these away if I don't want them. I can, if they're good quality, I can sell them maybe if I don't want to use them, but they're, you know, we'll see how we go. Ooh, it's kind of a sagey kind of green. Does this have anything? This is probably the same. Yeah, this is acrylic again. So there's a lot of artificial fibers so far, of the ones that I actually know what they are. This one is on a plastic cone, which is quite interesting. So this is more of a taupey kind of colour. No composition, no idea what it is. So most of this is mystery. So that's one bag. I've gone through one bag, guys. Let's have a look here. For hand and machine knitting, it says on the side. From Korea. Panda yarns, 100% acrylic. So I don't love acrylic. I don't tend to use plastic yarn. I am a bit of a yarn snob. I mean, I'm a yarn dyer, so, you know, I don't mind a little bit of nylon in my socks, but like for acrylic, I don't use it. But I think on the knitting machine, it's probably going to be better because I hate the squeakiness of knitting with acrylic, so if it's on the machine I'm not going to notice that in my hands. So I've got a few balls of this one actually. I've got three cones of that blue, so I guess that's going to be something. It doesn't say what the yardage is or anything like that. So that one is a little bit thicker, so it's probably more of a fingering weight yarn for this one. So this could definitely be a sweater, I think. More blue. Again, no composition. This one's 40/2, so this is really fine. This is super duper fine. This is almost like, because this is like sewing thread, so I don't know how sewing thread type thickness goes through knitting machines, but I have it, so I guess we'll sort that out when we come to it. This kind of looks a bit more like, it's more of that, looks very similar to the panda, but it's in a green, and that's bag number 2. Ooh, I like this one. This one is a nice burgundy. Again, this looks very similar to the panda. There's a little swatch actually here that was in the box, in the bag. So that's kind of fun. It's a bit more my kind of colours. I got this weird little bag here that looks like it's got odds and ends in it. I've got an empty cone, so I guess if I get a cone winder I can use that. Yeah, it looks like it's just the leftovers of various things. So I mean, these could be good for practicing fair old patterns, seeing if my punch cards work. Some nice primary colours there. A bit of grey, why not? I do like grey. Kind of taupey green. So yeah, these are definitely leftovers and odds and ends. Limey green, some pink, some blue. This again is very fine. 65% polyester and 35% combed cotton. A gradient, I'm assuming. Blue on the outside and green like an aqua on the inside. I'm getting quite the little collection here, guys. 3 more bags to go through. Viscose and cotton, oatmeal kind of colour. This one's full of talcum powder. She did say that she put talcum powder in as well. This one is weird. Curlicue kind of texture to it. Acrylic and nylon. It's really interesting. That I'm actually really kind of intrigued to see how this one knits up, because yeah, it's that wibble wobble texture. It's kind of cool. Taupey. It says it's white. I don't think so. Like a taupey soft brown, because those natural sort of colors I can deal with. Like, it's the really bright colors that I don't know what I'm going to do with them. So this looks like it matches one that I've already had out in the bag. I think that panda yarn. Oh, and I've got more of this. These are the same thing, so that's cool. That can definitely be a sweater for me. More very fine thread in a sort of soft yellow. Some more, looks like the panda, a blue. So that doesn't match any of the others that I have here. Oh, golly gosh. Acetate and polyamide, so that's the same as this blue. It's kind of like a pinky red. It's not a primary red. It is a bit more primary red through the plastic. I'm so surrounded by yarn here. Big cone of yellow and wrapped in paper here, as if it's just white. That is very interesting. That's almost like a slub yarn, a bit thick and thin as it goes. So that'll be interesting. This one looks like it would be very fun to knit. I like the look of this one. 1 bag left. Oh, looks like we've got some actual balls of yarn in here. Peyton's Sovereign Crepe. Here we go, we've got some wool. Finally, 100% pure wool, new wool. Because I've got a standard gauge machine, I think 5-ply might be pushing it a little bit. I'm more like it's likely to be a DK weight. This looks like an acrylic. You can quite see that, but it's very shiny. I'd say this is acrylic, so there's quite a bit of that in here. Oh my gosh, it looks like there is a garment that has been started in this bag. Some singles yarn in here, quite thick singles yarn actually. What have we in here? 100% nylon baby yarn. That's a one-off ball. Just a one little ball of multicolored baby yarn. And there's a bunch of stuff in here. Carnival baby, just a little plain cream ball. Some blue and little cardigan. It's just a little teeny baby cardigan that's been in here. So I've got plenty of this blue, so that's probably going to be useful for something. Little picot something or other here. There's a couple of them. I don't know what they're supposed to be. Well, that's a little bit of ribbing, like picot ribbing. Yeah, they're both picot ribbing kind of things. Well, they're folded hems, that's what they are. But then they've just been brought off the machine. So I've got another little tension swatch with whatever this yarn is. Wow, okay. I'm a bit overwhelmed by all of this. I don't know how much of this I can actually use. Yeah, this has been a little bit crazy. I don't know how to feel right now. But anyway, I might pick up the camera and let you guys have a look at what's here on the floor. I started this out being really energetic and excited, and now I'm just overwhelmed and don't know what I'm going to do with this stuff. Especially that real fine stuff. I'm going to have to do a bunch of investigating as to whether I can even knit that stuff on my knitting machines that I have. But for now, we will show you what was included. And there it is, guys. It's all that yarn that I got. So I definitely have a lot. Elvis is very, very interested. I have a lot here. I have a lot to practice with. I think I'm going to put aside that real fine thread for the moment and get practicing when I can on something a little bit thicker. But yeah, I'm gonna have to put all this away now.